This is my recap for the anime level 2 super cheat powers. If you dig my recaps, don't forget to subscribe and smash that notification bell. This story takes place in a messed up world where humans treat demi-humans like straight up slaves. Our main dude Banaza, though, he's got a different vibe. He's all about being nice to the demi-humans, but the humans hate him for it. Even the demi-humans warn him to stop being kind. But Banaza ain't having it. He wants everyone to get along, but not many folks feel the same. Out of nowhere, Banaza gets summoned to a whole new world, and they tell him he's a candidate to be a hero. Now he's stuck in the magical kingdom of Clyrode, smack in the middle of a long-ass battle against the Dark Army. The kingdom been summoning heroes from other worlds, hoping they'll fight the Dark Army for them. First things first, they gotta check Banaza's skills. When he got summoned to their world, he had to start all over at level 1. But in return, they give the candidates divine blessings from the gods. These blessings give them powers that no regular person can get just by training. It's called divine revelation. Banaza can read their language, but when the display shows his stats, everyone's freaking horrified. Turns out, Banaza didn't get no divine revelation. His stats are just like any regular person's. It's a major letdown, and the summoners consider it a failure. Banaza tries to tell them he's just a regular merchant and asks if they can send him back home. But nobody gives a damn about his words. Instead, they're all in awe of another candidate who apparently got some crazy powers. This dude's stats are all level 999, and they're calling him their savior, begging him to fight for them. Banaza just wants to go home, but nobody's listening to him. He's racking his brain trying to figure out how to get back. But the king's too busy announcing that the blonde dude will be their hero. Some time passes, and Banaza gets thrown into a carriage and taken away. He looks back, and the king tells him that the summoning gate closed, so they can't send him back home. The kingdom admits it's their screw up, so they're gonna make it up to him. Instead of just getting rid of him, they're gonna let him live in the Delavza forest up north. He can spend the rest of his useless life there, but the only condition is that he keeps his damn mouth shut about the mistake they made. On the journey there, Banaza's got an escort who straight up tells him not to talk to him. But Banaza's a smooth talker, and he manages to get the guy chatting. Turns out, in this country, whether you're a human or a demi-human, they all get treated the same. Banaza's thinking about how shit was looking real bad at the start. His stats were trash, he got stuck living in the damn forest, and there's some dark army threatening humanity. But Banaza ain't about to let nobody look down on him no more. So he starts thinking maybe this world ain't all that shitty after all. Took them a whole damn 20 days to reach the forest. When they finally get there, Banaza gets handed a bottomless bag filled with mad cash and enough food to keep them going for a while. Their driver warns him about the Dark Army lurking around in the forest, so if he wants to stay alive, he better hightail it out of there quickly. Once he's alone, Banaza rummages through his inventory and grabs a sword. He spots some slimes nearby, and they look kinda similar to the ones from his old world, so he figures they won't mess with him. But he was dead wrong, and the slimes come at him, and Banaza's gotta defend himself. Somehow, he manages to survive the encounter, but his cheap-ass weapon's already starting to fall apart. Right then, a notification pops up saying he just hit level 2. His stats look different now, but Banaza's confused as hell about the weird symbols replacing the numbers. He switches on voice notifications, and the voice tells him he's learned some magic spells. He can activate them without opening any menus, and Banaza's straight up shocked by all the spells he scored. But hold up, an alert pops up revealing that there's a monster lure spell placed on the bottomless bag they gave him. That's why the slime attacked his ass. And considering the weapon they gave him was practically useless, Banaza figures the kingdom was setting him up to die. The voice asks if he wants to remove the lure spell, so he does, and the idiot wonders why the hell they'd use magic that's so damn easy to get rid of. Banaza starts looking for a safe spot to take cover, but then the notification stops him. It says that the forest is packed with a crazy amount of melicium. It's just a fancy word for the liquids or gases demons emit. That shit's seriously harmful to humans. The voice asks if he wants to purify the forest, and our boy Banaza thinks it's a damn good idea, especially if he's gotta stay there. The system explains it'll take up 1/3 of his magic, but Banaza figures he's so weak it doesn't matter. But then, when he activates the purification spell, it turns out to be a freaking epic display of magic. And just like that, the notifications go wild as Banaza levels up multiple times. Back at the castle, the princess points out how messed up it was to send Banaza to the forest. especially when it was all our fault in the first place. And to top it off, the Dark Army set up their front lines in the Datta forest. But the king doesn't give a damn. He just straight up calls Banaza a worthless piece of trash, saying he ain't fit to be their hero. But hold up, out of nowhere, the king gets some urgent news somebody just pulled off the most powerful holy magic ever, purification. The king is so amazed, thinking it was the golden-haired hero who learned that high-level holy magic already, but then he finds out it wasn't even him. The golden-haired hero headed south, but the purification magic went down in the forest up north. Meanwhile, our boy Banaza's chilling and realizes he leveled up all the way to level 367. He didn't even take out monsters, so Banaza figures in this world you can level up just by throwing magic. But here's the thing that's messing with Banaza's head. The weird symbol is still there, showing up next to his stats. It's a lot to wrap his head around. So Banaza decides to silence the level up notifications. Banaza checks his magic reserves and damn, they're fully restored in seconds. Instead of thinking he's some magic prodigy, Banaza figures his magic capacity must be straight trash. He's worried he might still be in danger cause his magic ain't strong enough to purify the forest properly. Since Banaza's banned from living in town, the system suggests he use shape-shifting magic to blend in, so he gives it a shot. First, he tries changing his gender, but that ain't working for him, so he switches to something that suits him better. Then the system recommends teleportation magic, so Banaza teleports himself right into the city. In his old world, teleportation was some high-level sorcerer stuff, but here it seems like everybody can do it. Smart-ass Banaza thinks he can teleport back to his old world, but nope, that shit doesn't work. So he looks for a guild to make some money. Becoming a merchant might be tough since he's a newbie, so he hopes to find an adventurer's guild. That way, he can do some monster slaying or take on transport quests. Lucky for him, the system gives him directions to the guild. When he gets there, they break it down for him. Adventurers get ranked based on their achievements. The higher the rank, the better the rewards and tougher the quests they can take. It's pretty much like guilds in his old world. So Banaza decides to sign up, but he can't use his real name. So he goes with Fleo instead. Fleo wants to make that cash fast, but his rank is too low to earn much dough. Right at that moment, Fleo catches wind of a girl who needs an escort to the Datta forest. Problem is, she ain't got much cash to offer. And to make matters worse, word on the street is that the Dark Army got a base right smack in that very forest. Ain't nobody willing to take her, but she is desperate to help her family that lives near there. Some adventurers straight up shove her aside because they're annoyed, so Fleo offers to take her. She explains that she doesn't have much to offer, but Fleo says it's not a big deal since he has been there before, and he can just teleport them there. Everybody's jaws drop when they hear him say he can use teleportation magic. They think he's lying, and don't believe he can pull off such a rare skill. Fleo's clueless and surprised cause he figures it ain't even a beginner spell, and it didn't drain much of his mana. Then this royal knight named Balirosa comes in, demanding Fleo back off from the girl. She declares that Fleo doesn't look like a skilled enough sorcerer to use such an advanced spell, so she is suspicious of him. Her crew's just as skeptical, accusing him of having some shady plans. Fleo realizes he can't afford to raise suspicion, so he offers to take them all with them. They find a hidden spot so he can teleport them, but Balirosa warns him not to pull any funny business. Fleo teleports them in an instant, and they're all shocked. Teleportation alone is mind-blowing, but Fleo took them hella far. They start wondering if he's some badass sorcerer from the top ranks, but Fleo just tells him that he's a rookie adventurer who can use a bit of magic. They all apologize for treating him like trash before, and Fleo's just glad they ain't suspicious of him anymore. Then the young girl notices that the forest ain't covered in that thick Milicium layer anymore. Fleo prepares to tell her what he did, but his system warns that it's dangerous to inform a demon about him using purification magic. Fleo's hella confused about this demon talk, but Balirosa and her crew start pointing their weapons at the girl. The guild been suspecting her, so Balirosa demands she show them her true form. At first, the girl acts all scared, but then she straight up shocks everybody by revealing her true self. Her name's Fenris, and she's the lil sis of Fengaril from the Infernal Four. She unleashes enough Milicium to bring all the girls down, and Balirosa's mind is blown cause she didn't expect the girl to be a demon connected to the Infernal Four. Fenris impressed by Fleo, seeing he ain't affected by the Milicium, so she decides to save him for last. Fleo manages to rescue Balirosa, But he knows he can't bounce himself while protecting the other 4 girls. But then Fleo taps into his teleportation powers and gets all the girls out of there. Even he's impressed it actually works. Fleo don't know why he ended up here, but he ain't gonna let himself get wiped out before he can do shit in this new world. He stands up and gets ready to unleash every damn spell he's got.